make you put only the girl. He said never.
Hey guys, Blessing here. So Monica is in yet another fracas with one of her fans, this time with a well-known proxy account under the name Esther Izobo. If you guys remember, I talked briefly about Esther in my GPC video in which I mentioned that Esther Izobo is someone in real life who deals in second-hand phones. I even advised her in that video to drop Saga and focus on how to grow her business and make money with her online presence. If you haven't watched that video, there is a link in the description box down below. Click on that link and watch the video. So I have been following Esther for a while now, and from my observations, she strikes me like someone who is young, vocal, someone with a very interesting character, and who is quite critical in her thinking. And all these traits are probably the main reasons she fell out with Monica. So this is how it happened. A few days ago, Monica announced that she was going to do a paid show about the saga between Kate and Lolo. And I know quite a few people have asked me why I haven't done any video about this saga. The simple reason is that I find it a childish saga that doesn't make much sense. I have been following the back and forth between Lolo and Kate, and whenever I watch them do videos, the question that comes to my mind is, what is wrong with these two women? It is very obvious they are in a superiority battle with each other, and each of them wants the other one to back down, but neither of them is ready to do so for the other. So Edo Voice of Truth made a very good video that I largely agree with. So you can go listen to what Edo Voice of Truth said about the saga between Kate and Lolo, which I for 85% to 90% agree with. Now back to Monica and Esther Izobo. I guess Monica wanted to give her 2 cents about the saga between Lolo and Kate. So she posted this caption that says, "Good morning my amazing lovers. I hear say imbecile," and every other thing she wrote there, and then she said, "Don't worry, na pay show I go use them do. It will be set of women, daughters of Jezebel. Make her first reach out, you will hear from me." Now, any reasonable fan would understand that Monica getting involved in this saga between Kate and Lolo would give Monica's haters the opportunity to continue to drag Monica. So Esther, being the very vocal person that she is, disagreed with the paid show and voiced out her opinion, and I guess that didn't go very well with Monica. And let's not forget that Esther had actually been dropping hints for a couple of days now to make us know that things are actually not alright with them. So this account that goes by the name Engine Room, which is actually run by Emily J, posted this caption in support of the paid show, and I read, "How long will they keep them quiet? You kept them quiet, they still keep on talking. I be who them they talk to, not be human being." Then Esther Izobo responded, "How long will she respond to them and still they will not stop insulting her? I know it's not easy, but I think everywhere is calming down little by little since she ignored them all. She shouldn't get involved in this their nonsense and no need for paid show. It makes no sense, please." And this is the point at which their fight actually gained momentum. So this Ambrose Ajala account responded, and I believe it was Monica that was responding behind this account. And Monica said, "Esther, is it the pay show for you? Don't worry to enter, it's not by force." And then Esther responded, "The way you talk to your supporters anyhow sometimes is annoying, trust me. Anyway, I blame myself." And of course, Lulu Briggs tried to calm Esther down, but Esther wasn't going to have any of it. And then Esther told Lulu Briggs, "Please, enough. How will she talk to me anyhow like that?" And then she continued, "Like, am I a child?" Then Monica still responded and said, "Esther, you better be, because supporter will know how to talk. Na him I dey loyal for." And then Monica continued, "Your support is too troublesome." And then Esther still replied and said, "Madam, you are not loyal to anybody because little thing you don't dey insult person. Keep your loyalty." And then Ehi Sosawe also jumped in to try to calm Esther down. Ehi said, "It's enough now, Abba, since yesterday." And Esther was like, "If she can insult you, please not me." Then Monica still responded, "I no blame you. Now people will keep you here. Now I blame because you have always been a trouble for me." Oh my god. So this already shows you guys that this thing didn't just start yesterday or the day that this thing happened. This paid show fight was actually the straw that broke the camel's back. Monica and Esther Izobo have been in a tug of war for a while now, and it looks like Esther Izobo has been a thorn in Monica's flesh. This was just the opportunity for Monica to get rid of her. Ehi still said, "Esther, nobody can insult me because I talk politely. Sometimes don't allow your anger get over you." Then Monica told Ehi Sosawe, "Mama, leave her because she's popular in my haters' wall." So this means that Monica is not very cool with the fact that a lot of people recognize that Esther Izobo is someone with the capacity to think critically. Then Esther Izobo dropped the bombshell. She said, "I don't blame you. You are just ungrateful." Ooh la la. Then Monica said, you are finally out of your cover. You guys know Monica has been fasting and praying for 7 days for God to reveal all her enemies. And I don't know if the prayer is finally working, but Monica is thinking Esther Izobo is an enemy in disguise. So Esther replied Monica and said, now so you they talk. Any of your supporters will get issues with you. Now so you they say them don't come out of their cover. And then Monica said, quick insult me now because they must remove you or me from this group today because the mask is off your face. So, of course, with what Monica said, we all know that nobody is going to remove Monica from the group. They definitely are going to remove Esther. And that was the point I knew that Esther's journey in GPC has come to an end. Anyway, Esther Izobo still replied and said, trust me, I blame myself. I know they your group again, no. So what happened was Esther Izobo realized that, okay, this is the end of the road for me. So before they throw me out, let me just remove myself respectably. And then Monica said, how come I know they get issue with the rest except una wey I know in every saga on Facebook you must involve. You must bring problem. You want the group to scatter, but God no gree. Then Esther Izobo told Monica, now you make us involved for saga just to support you. I've been supporting you since 2016 and I do it because of love and not hatred, but you are ungrateful. Then Monica said, Esther Izobo, please, you don't know how to support. Pack it out of here. Then Lulu Briggs, who was actually trying to calm both Monica down, told Esther, Haba, since yesterday you just the vex for everyone. Then Monica said, because she's a sadist. Then Munishola also jumped in support of Monica, I guess. Munishola told Esther, my lady, what you're doing now is very wrong. If you say you are supporting her, then give her some respect, please, okay? All these are not called for, okay? Cut it off. Then Very Nice said, Jesus, why now? I don't like as Iyeki attack her. Oh. She only talk her mind now. Why all this? Exactly my point. Their issue is not about this paid show. It was just that last straw that broke the camel's back. These people are just a time bomb about to explode, and it was their perfect opportunity to just use this as an excuse to jump at each other's throat. Very Nice still continued and said, she only speak her mind. Why will Iyeki attack her like that? Then finally, Very Nice said, you see why them know they quick finish their own group fight? Because impatient way she get, abeg me don't go because one day now so she go still insult me like Esther Izobo. So I guess that one is another fan that actually left the group. Another fan that wasn't very happy with the way Monica handled everything said, she popular for your haters, whoa, no means say she go there to insult you. You are too harsh with your comments as a leader. Then Precious Peter said, please admin, remove Esther from this group. Esther don't like Iyeki. And still continued, believe me, Esther don't like you. And people like this are actually the people who don't like this woman because they want her to be in the spotlight, in the negative spotlight. They want her to continue to do saga. They want her to continue to fight. And any other person that says otherwise, that person is the enemy according to them. And in this other caption, Njoh said, too much of everything is bad. Sometimes you have to give it to them too. Then Esther said, my dear, fight the tire person no. If you watch since this their fight, many people don't they believe wetin Monica talk and they don't see say she better pass the other 100% and starting to like her. We should encourage her to ignore them and not put in fire. Dear Esther Izobo, the very, very daft followers of Monica will never understand the logic behind this statement you made. It's just too complex for them to comprehend. Anyway, as a final punch against Esther Izobo, Monica publicly announced that Esther Izobo was no longer her supporter, and this is what she wrote. Attention, Esther Izobo is no longer my supporter. Anywhere you see her comment, she is on her own, signed by Monica. And here is Esther's response to that. So childish. Anyway, it's all love from here. So this marks the end of the road between Esther Izobo and GPC and Monica. So you guys, the paid show Monica planned to do caused this fight now. And this is actually not the very first time Monica's fans would be against her doing a paid show. Remember the first time she announced she was going to do a paid show about Albert? Most of her fans revolted and she put that paid show on hold. She didn't do it at that point in time, but she still went ahead and did it on a different date. And the truth of the matter is that many presenters have already insinuated that Monica does a paid show monthly to keep body and soul together. Many of these presenters believe that Monica uses these paid shows to sustain herself and her family monthly. But whenever I hear them say so, I always thought that it was a coincidence that Monica's paid shows fall out every month. But as they say, in every nonsense, there is always some sense. So I started following Monica's paid shows closely. Then I discovered a trend that truly, every single month, Monica finds a reason to do a paid show. And Monica also confirmed herself that her paid shows are monthly.
Paid show. For now, let's put paid show every month ending. Once in month end until hot market go constant day.
So let's be clear here. Monica doing paid shows should not be a problem particularly, but given the circumstances surrounding her name at the moment, one would expect that Monica would at least temporarily take the back seat in order for things to die down. And I believe that is also the point Esther Izobo was trying to make before she was misunderstood. Another thing is that Monica is seriously confusing her fans, which is why there is division among them. 1 minute, Monica will say she doesn't want people to mention her name. The next minute, she's already involving herself in saga that she should be avoiding. And this might shock you guys, but the deep truth of the matter is that Monica doesn't want presenters to stop mentioning her name because, according to her own words, the more people talk about her, the more money she makes.
If I carry on and do friend, ebony wa otegbe me. Ebony blood money, wa eya drill. For that reason, I can never settle with you guys. If I say una no want talk my matter, una want quiet, una know me now. Get what I will just do. Because a noise you know what must to make her. The more you make the noise, the more my salary, my money is making tanking. Men and women, home and abroad, they make the noise, I make the money. Now they help me, they do the saga, my money go, they make ton. But if they keep quiet, husband, I go do saga. If they talk, I don't go do saga. If I don't hear again, who will only give me 4. I make the money, they make the noise. That is me for you. Why won't I make money? Who react on the Google? You react on the making money. I make the money, they make the noise. Me, I don't make noise. It's none of my business. But if they're quiet, I go be there because it's equal.
You guys, we can only imagine the impact that this whole ongoing saga is having on Monica's family, especially the allegation that her only son, J-Boy, is not fathered by Monica's legitimate husband. In fact, social media people have even demanded for Monica to go carry out a DNA test to prove that Papa Waila is not the biological father of J-Boy. And some other people have also displayed pictures of this poor boy alongside that of Papa Waila. This act alone is enough for Monica to stay out of any form of controversy, but it would shock you to know that Monica sees this entire drama and controversy surrounding the paternity of her son as another money-making machinery, which she terms as blood money.
Okay, me I buy milk for my son, my J-Bobo, my greatest, my one and only popular son. Easy to get to be popular and your son is also popular. Now let me want the do because say blood money now. When you do blood money, I make a senior segbe, us a family, us everybody. Shop it, blood money.
This is the most shameful thing any mother could possibly ever say. Not only do I find it shameful, I also find it highly disgraceful. So to Monica, her son's picture being displayed in a paternity mess is popularity. Like, how sickening. This is your son we're talking about here and you're sounding like he's your sacrificial lamb to make money? Do you ever consider the trauma this whole social media disgrace could have on your son in the long run? All because of money. I mean, you intentionally do saga so that people will have negative things to say about you, which will make you create a reason to do a paid show out of it just to make money. You guys, using saga as a strategy to make money online is not even a big deal here. But throwing your son in the line of fire is the most appalling thing any mother could ever do. I mean, as a mother, you should always put into consideration the consequences your social media presence could have on your children. Now, let's watch the next clip for you guys to understand where exactly I'm coming from.
Never! That kind of person go come dey cry. He bully my child! He bully my child! He bullied my child!
Mama, can you let go of front of that? Can you? Do you know how to lower down your voice?
Okay.
Actually, it makes me so mad. Like, can you let go of that one? You do this and yourself, you embarrass me. Then I'm
Okay, sorry.
Hey, still.
Okay. Lily Love Center. Oh. She bullied. What do they call this lady for Germany? Vera TV. Hey, now me, they even pay money to talk for the matter. Me where they pay money to, I never come.
This is so heartbreaking. What you guys just heard now is the voice of Monica's second daughter, and I think she might have been crying, although I'm not sure, but from what we just heard, you can tell that that child was embarrassed by the way her mom was doing Facebook Live all over the shopping mall and talking loud while passers-by were looking at them. So what happened on this occasion was that Monica went shopping with her daughter, and Monica was streaming live on Facebook throughout the more than an hour they spent there, and when her daughter told her to stop or lower her voice, Monica simply carried on from where she left off. And when some commenters tried to caution Monica to look after her daughter, Monica rather blocked them.
That's why I am the leader. My darling, because this is embarrassing. My darling Glory, let me block you and leave here because these are the problem with you guys. I am talking here and you are inside my family problem, my family matter. It's none of your business. Learn to mind your business. Eh? Now what?
So Monica continued streaming up until they got into the car, and her husband told her to end the live stream, which she also didn't do until he turned on the music.
Yeah, okay, please report. I will not report Mama Joy. The thing go report by itself. No worry. Now because that the cool. No, yeah.
They're not getting out until
now because that the cool. No, they are not mine. Not mine. Don't even worry. He says somebody they stream my video. Don't worry. You see the video just now. Now one time go tell me, bing, bing, bang, bang. Now Baba God do it for me, not be my power. You understand? Okay. She bullied. Who was I talking about just now? I listened to one video. Somebody just they talk. Hey, that is not a bully, my Sally. No, they're not still they waste on money. Because lawyers, before they even take your case. So you want to watch my video on reggae?
You not finished.
I never finished. If you know that, why are you people bullying Monica alone? Who be that? Both of you bully many people. Both of us bully many people. Meaning, so if we bully ourselves, we're supposed to rest.
Monica said no.
Abby? Okay. Maybe if we bully ourselves, we're supposed to rest. But no, some people did not rest.
Let's quickly take a look at yet another scenario whereby you see that these children are not entirely comfortable with Monica's social media activities.
Yes, breakfast time. Can you like pink?
Huh? What?
Look, what anybody chooses to do with their kids and family is nobody's business, but once it gets to the media, be rest assured that you will be scrutinized whether you like it or not. And I just feel so much pity for those children because their mom is forcing the camera down their throats, which is clearly affecting them. And I do understand that Monica has to work to make money, but I'm also of the opinion that Monica should know where to draw the line, especially when her social media activities start to affect the stability and mental well-being of her children. If you think of it, there are families out there who live their entire life in the public glare and they do very well at it, but those families have undergone due processes and followed adequate guidelines to ensure that the sanity and happiness of their children come first before anything else. And I think Monica has missed that part of the equation, which is why her children are revolting the way we've seen them do. And you might also say that Monica has hired the services of a solicitor in order to protect her son. Well, from the words of Monica's mouth, Monica's son's image being rubbished in the media brings popularity and money to the house. So the reason I think Monica is taking legal actions against Lolo is because of the damages that she hopes Lolo would be ordered to pay by the court, which still boils down to money. So you guys, I really think that this is just a money game for Monica, and that is what Esther Izobo failed to understand. Monica knows exactly what to do for people to stop talking about her and her family, but Monica will not do that thing because she knows that doing so is going to affect her revenue. Now back to where we started from. Esther Izobo was kicked out of the GPC group she worked hard for so many years to fight for. And Esther did not even get a proper send-off. Can you imagine that after all those years? She didn't get any departure bonus, she didn't get a pension, nothing at all. She was disgracefully banished. Let us now take a look back at some of the work Esther did in support of Monica. This one is Esther's post against ODL Kate. Esther ended the caption with "God punish you and that color, Kate." This other one is Esther's attack on Atiti. She ended this caption with "The fool don't tire, B." And this one right here is against Iyore for asking Monica to provide a DNA test result. She ended this caption with "I dislike her," referring to Iyore. And this final one is quite ironical. Esther Izobo was here questioning a proxy account that goes by the name Neutral Person. For your information, Neutral Person used to be a GPC member that ran for her dear life when she could no longer take the things that she was seeing within the group. So Neutral Person created a Facebook group and Esther Izobo was interrogating her if she already informed Monica before creating the group. And her response was that, "Do I need to consult Monica before I open a free group?" So as you can see, Esther was a soldier for Monica. She fought, but she didn't fight a good fight. She loved, but she loved blindly, and it took her 5 years of her life before her eyes opened. So the big question is, what can Esther actually show for those 5 years of support? Nothing except shame. And Esther is going to be remembered as the faceless, nameless, disgraced bully. I do hope other bullies are taking note in case it gets to their turn someday. So after the altercation with Monica, Esther started posting captions that touched the heart, and Emily J on the other hand has been trying frantically hard to get Esther to come back to their GPC group. And the reason Emily J is craving for Esther to come back is simply to pepper them.
Anything where Esther tell me, anyone where I tell Esther, it's none of your business. Tomorrow you go see Esther go come to me. Me too. I go dey praise her again. That time you can say, they are fooling themselves. We are fooling you because you are the other. We will keep on fooling you.
Can you put the mask up, please? Thank you.
And no, Emily J cannot wait to post the caption, "Ishokunabi." And the second caption Emily J is going to post is "E-campaign." You guys, we've all seen this so many times before, and I don't think it moves anyone anymore because most people on social media now understand that most GPC members have quite a low IQ and would easily fall for Emily J's vices and run back to the group just to pepper them. Look, it's not going to surprise me too much if Esther goes back to GPC, but Esther might actually prove me wrong and uphold her dignity and stand her ground. My personal advice to Esther is this: focus on your mobile phone business. If possible, convert your Facebook account to a business page and monetize your social media presence. Do something meaningful and valuable to your own life instead of going about social media poking and bullying people who have never offended you personally, all in the name of supporting someone you later end up calling ungrateful. And here is where I rest my case. If you found this video interesting, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But if you get to watch this video on Facebook, do not hesitate to like and follow my page, and I will catch you on my next one.